So, how to guarantee your property is let every single time? And I think this is a real distinction between most agents and what we do. See, for the most part, we can guarantee you let your property within 6 weeks, or we pay the rent until it is, okay? And the reason we say that, okay, is because, quite simply, we have a very robust system that we've built up over many, many years, okay? And we've proven it time and again, okay? Now, it requires things. Look, there is only 2 reasons why a place is void, okay? So the first is you have an incompetent agent. Incompetent agent, you've got to get rid of them, okay? Find the competent agent. If you have a competent agent who's, doing the marketing right, they're putting, good photos up, all this sort of stuff, yeah, great. The second thing is, if you haven't let your property, then you haven't found the realistic market rent for that week. The market is a week-by-week market. In other words, it goes up and down depending on the market. Most people don't. Most people go, oh, I'll put that price on and I'll wait for the market to come to me. We don't. We go after the market. Yeah, and here's the distinction of what we do. All right, so 4 stages, if you like, okay? So here's what we do to get a tenant in and get the highest rent possible. It's a little bit different from what normally happens. Okay, so the first thing is, we actually, look, I will say most people will overprice the rent. They will sell you on the fact to get you to sign up on putting a higher rent than what's available. And then the problem is then they'll stick you there and they won't want to drop it because they don't want to look silly. But the reality is that wastes time, okay? We raise the rent differently. We'll say, this is where the rent is, okay? This is where we think the realistic market rent. Now, how did we find that? We found it by picking up the phone twice, okay? Once we go, hey, I'm a tenant looking to rent a property. How much is a ABC property going to be? Yeah? And they might say 500. Hang up the phone. Pick up the phone again, dial back and say, hey, I'm a landlord this time. ABC property, how much is going to be? And when I do that, those 2 calls, what I'm going to get is, when I say I'm a tenant, I'm going to get sold down, and then I'm going to, once I sign up to them, then I get managed up to the realistic market rent. In other words, we're probably going to pay more. They're going to undersell me to get me to sign up, and then move my expectations up, all right? Sell down, manage up, all right? When I phone up as the landlord, they're going to sell me up to the highest possible amount, and then they're going to manage my expectations down. So what's in the middle of those 2 things? That is the realistic market rent, and that is where we start off, okay? So we'll be very free. We'll say that is the realistic market rent that we think we can get you. However, yeah, if we were to do that, and then we were to say, great, we're going to go after, let's say it was 500 there, 600 there, 550 is the realistic market rent, okay? Nice, easy maths. 550, great. We're going to put it on 550. Now, what happens when somebody walks in, pays 550? Well, you guys are sitting there going, a bit disappointed. What happens if it had been 600? So you know what we do? We started off at 600, maybe even 650, depending on the market, whatever. So we'll overshoot the market, and then we'll manage that rent down on a regular basis. So it might be weekly. And what we do is we simply use, website visits, viewings, and then offers, VVO, okay? And we effectively look at this. If we're getting no website visits, nobody's interested, the rent is probably too high, so we need to bring it down. Let's say we're getting visits, but we're not getting viewings, okay? Probably too high, we need to get it. Now let's say one week we get lots of viewings, okay, but no offers. Well, maybe, you know what, maybe we should just hold it where it is, because the likelihood is the offers may be coming. Or maybe we could drop it by, say, £15 or add a bit of an incentive, who knows, $50 Sainsbury voucher or something like that, because we can either play with the price, the realistic market rent, or we can play with the add-ons, okay, or incentives, all right? So we do one of those 2. And then what happens is we may get an offer if we do an incentive or drop the rent a little bit. Or we may say, no, let's hold it there. Or you know what, if we get 4 offers or 5 offers, okay, so say we went through viewings, we went through website visits, viewings, offers, and say we got 5 offers, guess what we then do? We then say, hey, this has been offered, this has been offered, this has been offered. You need to come off more, and so we drag them back up. So we do that, so that way, if it takes 4 weeks and we drop it, and then we find somebody, you've tested the market at higher levels and seen that it hasn't worked, so you get what is the highest rent. Now, most agents will come in and say, oh, I could have got you this much. No, they couldn't. We tested the rent, We did it the proper way. We did it the way that works 100% of the time. Yeah. As long as your property is in a position to be let out, we will find a tenant for you. Okay. Now think about this. How is that possible? And how can I guarantee you this? Okay. The reason I can guarantee you this, and the reason I can say this, is because I've got years of experience, 30 years of experience of doing this, renting properties out. Okay. In multiple countries. This doesn't apply just in the UK. This applies in all countries that I've been into. Okay. And let's say we have a property, and it's a crappy property. It's a terrible property. You know, it's disgusting. It's dirty. It's not made up. It's not, anything. All right. If let's say the average rent for a price that is 500, and let's say, for instance, it looks pretty bad. Well, if we put it on for 300, do you think it's going to rent? Probably, yeah. If we put it on 200, there'll be a level below what the average where we will find somebody to take it. And even if that person says, you know what, I'll take it for 200, but then I'll renovate it, I'll paint it throughout, I'll do whatever. Okay. We can always find it as long as we're prepared to adjust the realistic market rent. And so that's how we can guarantee your property is let every single time. And you know what we want to do? We want to do that within 6 weeks. Okay, absolute maximum 6 weeks. And why do we want to do that? Well, they're going to have to give 4 weeks notice in most cases, and then you've got 6 weeks after that. So we've got 10 weeks to play with there. We don't play with 10 weeks. Internally, the team are aiming for maximum 4 weeks. So that means that each week, because we treat it as a weekly market, we're going to come back to you. But how do we do that? So basically what we do is on Mondays, because we've had the weekend, Monday we get the agent to come back to us and say, right, give us an update on the market, on the property, on anything, feedback. All right. Tuesday we're going to report back to you. Yeah. Then on Thursday, any decisions we've made, whether to drop the rent, incentivize, raise the rent, whatever it is, will take effect. Take effect on Thursday, ready for the weekend for those changes to take effect. Before next Monday, we go through the whole process again. And that is the systematic approach that we use. It should be what every agent uses, but unfortunately, most don't, because they're running around on their heads, trying to do maintenance as well as this, as well as that, and they're basically just spinning plates. So yours gets left, okay? And that's why most lets take, anywhere from probably 6 to 12 weeks, all right? It should never take that long, unless there's something wrong with the property, in which case address it, get it sorted, or if you don't want to get it sorted, drop the rent to find the realistic market rent for that property in that market at that time, okay? So hopefully that gives you some certainty around we can get it let, and we will get it let, and we have got it let every single time for my whole entire history, 30 years, never had a problem renting properties out, no matter where they are, okay? No matter what the condition is, okay? So that hopefully gives you that certainty. All right, guys, see you on the next video. So like, subscribe, and be sure to comment, and we're happy to answer any of your questions. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you download a copy of the book, UK Property Investment Guide for 2023, which covers all 23 of these topics in detail, and really will get you a really good foundation of understanding and certainty built. So simply download it, fill out your details, and we look forward to chatting real soon.